Okay, now I'll talk on advantages and disadvantages of each system. Like I mentioned in the previous topic, there are 4 types of system. So we look into what are the advantages and disadvantages of each of these systems. So the first one is conventional. So in terms of advantages, you can have quality control. Here it means high degree of food quality, not dependent on frozen, commercially prepared items. So what it means here is that you purchase or you make everything from scratch. So you do not depend on convenient food. And then in terms of adaptable and greater flexibility is because they cook it on the spot. So when they cook it on the spot, you can actually ask for modification. For example, if you want the food item to be less spicy, you can tell the server that you want your food to be less spicy. Let's look at the disadvantages of conventional system. Of course, it's a stressful workday because people come in from morning, afternoon, and dinner. So you are constantly working for that long period of times. And when you talk about workloads vary, it's because people only come during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you would be very busy during that 3 meals time. And the time between breakfast and lunch then lunch and dinner will probably be the time where you are actually not that busy. So for some people, it might be a waste of labor and a waste of time. So how do you compensate this low peak time with the high peak time? And the third one is labor intensive. Yes, labor intensive is because everything you have to do from scratch and you have to be there for that certain period of time. Another disadvantage would be consistency may not occur and difficult to control food costs. If you look at ready prepared system, the advantages are they reduce the peaks and valleys of workloads, use staff more efficiently. So here it means that because they only serve meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so they can actually use the time in between to do other work. For example, they can prepare the menu items for the next day in between breakfast and also lunch. But the disadvantage would be they would need for large cold storage and freezer, so this would definitely increase the space and cost. It's because of they prepare everything in advance, then they have to store it, they have to chill it or freeze it, so definitely they would need an extra space to chill or to store this food item. Commissary advantages, one of them is actually cost saving. Because in commissary, like I mentioned previously, whereby, for example, fast food restaurant, they would purchase in a large volume, and then this can actually reduce duplication of labor and equipment. So for example, if they were to make a nugget, they can purchase a large volume number of chicken, and they just do it in one central kitchen. So actually you can reduce the duplication, whereby everything is done in one place, and they just have to deliver it to their satellite units. But in terms of disadvantage is on food safety, because you prepared everything in a large scale, then you really have to monitor the food safety. Because if one batch of food is contaminated, then the whole thing needs to be thrown out, or you risk people getting food poisoning. Then the last system is actually the assembly and serve. One of the advantages is built-in labor savings is because you actually purchase everything in a convenience form. So there's no preparation. The only thing that you have to do is probably just to reheat the food or just to pre-plate the food. But in terms of disadvantages is the limited options and higher costs. As we know, in Malaysia, we don't really have that much option in convenience food. But in other countries, in overseas countries like in Australia and in America, they actually have a lot of option. So in Malaysia, the market for assembly serve is still not as big as in overseas. Okay. I think that's all for this topic. Thank you.